Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego joins us in studio to talk about the city's heat mitigation efforts. Also tonight we'll hear about an organization that teaches seniors how to avoid financial scams. And ASU researchers team up with a local food bank to track food insecurity issues across the state. Those stories and more next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your public television station.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. California Governor Gavin Newsom today asked a federal court to block the Trump administration from using the National Guard and U.S. Marines to assist with immigration raids in Los Angeles, saying it would only heighten tensions. There was relative calm today in L.A. with few reports of violence amid continuing immigration protests. City's mayor says that she's not expecting any trouble today.
As of now, we have not received words of raids. I think you all understand that the city is not notified when ICE goes to a workplace. And what we rely on, frankly, is reporting from the community, especially the immigrant rights organizations that have formed the Rapid Response Network. That is usually how we hear about a raid taking place.
The recent raids and subsequent mobilization of U.S. Marines, along with the president calling out California's National Guard, will cost $134 million, according to the Pentagon. Worth the cost, according to the president.
You would have had a horrible situation had I not sent them in. Horrible. You'd be reporting on a lot of death and a lot of destruction that's not going to take place.
The Arizona Republic reports that pro-immigrant advocacy groups are going on social media to warn of possible workplace immigration raids in Phoenix, similar to actions that sparked the massive protests in L.A. The online warning suggests that the raids could begin sometime this week, perhaps as early as today, according to the pro-immigration group Puente Arizona. So far, there are no reports of such immigration raids in the Phoenix area. And economic news, the international gross domestic product will fall to 2.3% this year. It's according to the World Bank, and that's down from 2.7% projected in January. Researchers say that increased tariffs are the main factor, and while the World Bank isn't predicting a global recession from the tariffs, it does say that it's possible that global growth for this decade could fall to a level not seen since the 1960s. It's that time of year again. Triple-digit temperatures are firmly in place for the next few months. That means increasing concerns over heat-related illnesses and deaths in the valley. The city of Phoenix is working on ways to address those concerns. And to learn more, we welcome Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be back with you, Ted.
And I do want to talk about heat mitigation efforts, but you're here, and I've got to ask you about what's happening in Los Angeles. I want to get your thoughts on this and whether or not Phoenix is prepared should immigration raids hit this area.
Thank you, Ted. That's a really important conversation. We are following what is happening in Los Angeles and other U.S. cities very closely. We have reached out to the federal government, to ICE, to ask them what they are doing in our community. We believe we can keep the community safer if we understand what is happening and are prepared. They have not informed us of any workplace raids, but we remain deeply concentrated on making sure that this community can be safe.
It sounded like the mayor of Los Angeles, though, said that she wasn't even expecting ICE to give them any forewarning. Are you expecting that?
We have asked for it. They recently did an operation in Phoenix that was related to money laundering and transborder, and they did inform us of that ahead of time. But we are aware that it is quite possible we will not get information ahead of time.
And if this were to happen, it would come when police leadership is in a bit of state of flux. What's going on as far as police chief, interim police chief, and the readiness there?
So we have Chief Dennis Orender right now, who is our interim chief, but a very familiar name to people in Phoenix. He's been with the department for decades. He was our number 2 for quite a while and is very familiar. He has been in positions where he has worked on First Amendment issues very successfully in the past, and he is talking with all of the other major city chiefs just to make sure we are as prepared as possible. We do expect to announce finalists for the full-time police chief quite shortly.
Okay, and again, just keeping tabs on what's happening. I think something happening in Nashville as well, but as far as Los Angeles is concerned, keeping tabs on what's going on there. to figure out the best way to handle it should it happen here. And it sounds like, again, what do you make of these reports that it could possibly happen perhaps as early as this week?
We are prepared for it, and we understand that people will express their strong frustrations in our community. We've been very successful in trying to work with organizers so that they have the opportunity to share their very strongly held feelings in a way that respects the First Amendment but keeps our community safe. We have had many, many protests of the Trump immigration policies where people have gotten the attention they needed and gone home safely.
And so there is a relationship there between some of these groups to get that information as quickly as possible.
There is, yes.
There is. Okay. All right. We asked you here to begin with a long time ago to talk about heat mitigation. So let's get to that as we wait to see what happens in Los Angeles and what could possibly happen here but hasn't happened yet. All right. What has happened is the heat is here. Surprise, it's June. And heat mitigation efforts in Phoenix. What's going on here? What is the city doing?
The National Weather Service told me they thought it might not be quite as hot as last summer, and I maybe got like overly excited about that, so that when this week's temperatures arrived, it was a little bit of a disappointment. We plan year-round for the summer heat in Phoenix. We have a permanent office as part of our government that does that work, along with a huge team at the city of Phoenix. Some things that are new this year: we have a 24-hour facility on the south side of downtown on Jackson Street that has a great place for kids, a dog run. We have now libraries open later, which is a wonderful benefit even to those of us, like I'm a parent myself, and sometimes I want to check out a library book later in the day, so additional benefit. We're better coordinated with our utilities, so if you lose power at your home, we can share where are the locations in the city of Phoenix where cooling centers
You mentioned,
are open.
really quickly, you mentioned, though, the new relief station at Jackson and Jackson Street, just south of downtown. Does that replace the one that was at Burton Bar Library? Or
It does.
It does. Okay, so that one's gone at Burton Bar.
Yeah, so this is more focused on heat completely, and so it was once a school site, and so there's different rooms so that we can, for example, have a space for young kids where they can have fun things to do and a more colorful environment where we hope they'll feel more comfortable. If you have a power outage at your home,
Yeah.
that can be stressful and scary, and so we want to make sure you have a safe place to go. And then again, we heard there were some people particularly experiencing homelessness who weren't willing to accept services if their pets couldn't go, particularly dogs, we heard. And so now there's a place with the dog run that is more purpose-built around this issue. So we hope it takes the feedback and gives us a chance to get people in a safer environment. We try to learn every summer, and we actually get national attention for this and international attention. We've helped mayors in the United Kingdom when they have heat waves, just because unfortunately this is a thing that happens to us every summer, and so
I
have experience.
I thought it was interesting, 20% of heat-related deaths in Maricopa County were people who were living in mobile or manufactured homes, maybe RVs. I was surprised by that.
So I don't recommend doing this, but if you ever put your hand on a mobile home, you might feel it is much hotter than if you put it on a house.
Yeah.
And particularly the older ones have real challenges keeping cooled, so they can be very inefficient and expensive to cool, and that can be very dangerous. We have a wonderful partnership with Arizona State University, which is helping us try to find the best, most cost-effective solutions to keep people safe and to give them more information. We're also trying to do new programs where we can check on those who are more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Cool Collars is one. So we really are trying to use the data to be as intentional as possible about trying to keep people safe in our summer heat.
What about keeping people safe who insist on hiking in desert trails in the cities? The city's got a lot of trails, got a lot of ways to get out there, but not this time of year and not in the middle of the day. Can you close it? Will the city close trails on certain days?
So we do have a summer heat program, which is triggered by National Weather Service heat warnings, and particularly our most dangerous locations, we will close down. So you'll be able to hike year-round in Phoenix, but the trails where our firefighters really struggle, we do close some of those based on how hard it is to get folks in and out. We've had firefighters hospitalized after these rescues. They're very strenuous and stressful for our firefighters, and so it's important we try to balance the need to enjoy our wonderful environment with the health and safety of our sworn firefighters.
So things have improved, or I should say increased. The efforts have increased. I guess every year you learn more, and it gets hotter every year.
That was certainly the case last year, right? 113 days
Yes.
above 100. We're trying to do more education campaigns and remind people. We unfortunately have had spectacular athletes who were still overcome by the summer heat, and just because you are healthy doesn't mean you should be out hiking. And also if someone gets an injury, it can be much more severe and aggravated by the summer heat. And then we're trying to work with hotels and other areas where you might see tourists to try to educate them as well.
Yeah. Before you go, I thought it was interesting you're saying people around the world look to Phoenix for heat mitigation ideas. What do you show them? What do you tell them?
Well, the one that we are showing off right now is we have a program called Sombra, where we do heat-related art in every part of our city. And so we have these beautiful structures up in our parks now that provide shade but are also gorgeous art. And so that's one that actually won a pretty significant award from my peers among cities for sort of taking a problem and coming up with something that beautifies the city.
Well, I tell you what, Mayor, it's such a great idea that we have decided we're gonna showcase that, I think, tomorrow night.
Love it.
We got folks from the city coming in talking about that, and they're really remarkable.
They are gorgeous.
I mean, and they do heat studies that show just how much cooler it is beneath those structures and around those structures. It really makes a difference.
And some of them are local companies with great local entrepreneurs who have taken a problem in Phoenix and they're going to help the whole world.
Well, Mayor, thank you so much for joining us. It's good news, and let's hope that maybe we get a little bit of a break from the heat a little bit this summer. And we'll keep an eye on what's happening in Los Angeles, and it's good to hear that preparations here are there should something happen. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
This is the largest movement of living things on Earth. And every predator in these waters knows it. It's a mass migration of sardines. Why they gather is a mystery. But the result is a feast that will sustain an entire coastline of creatures.
Wednesday night at 7 on Arizona PBS.
A team races today
24/7, all hands on deck.
to build New York's LaGuardia Airport of tomorrow.
We didn't realize what we were up against.
Battling extreme weather
The wind has picked up. Watch the boom.
Well, we just had a failure.
and massive machines.
Very dangerous. One wrong move, we could strike a building.
Extreme airport engineering on Nova.
Wednesday night at 8 on Arizona PBS.
Financial scams targeting seniors are on the rise. A group called ROSE, or Resources Outreach to Safeguard the Elderly, is working to educate seniors on how to avoid being scammed. Joining us now is Brian Watson, Community Outreach Specialist for ROSE. Brian, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, give me a better definition of ROSE. It sounds like this is an educational effort for those who really need to avoid being scammed.
Well, we're in the prevention business. We want people not to fall for scams in the first place. And we recognize that every age group gets scammed, but our focus is on older adults, people 60 plus.
Are we seeing more of these kinds of scams?
Absolutely. The numbers don't lie. FBI's elder fraud report came out for 2024. 4.8 billion reported, and that was up from 3.4 billion the year before. And we know those numbers are definitely not reported because crime is underreported nationwide.
How is technology impacting all this? Online, social, Facebook, these sorts of things?
Well, nowadays, everything we do has to have a password, a username. Every program you use, you can't just write checks anymore. So it's a perfect storm where we have an aging generation, we have seniors who are forced into technology they didn't grow up with. So it's very easy for scammers to get access to our seniors.
What about cryptocurrency? Is that being used more in scams?
Absolutely. The biggest trend we're seeing right now is scammers sending people to crypto ATMs, having them feed cash into a crypto ATM thinking they're investing or that they're paying off a fine, but they're not.
Wow, that just sounds terrible. And we're looking up and reading up on this. It sounds like customer support fraud, especially when it comes to technology, is like far and away the number. I was surprised by that.
Right, so someone has a problem with their computer and they think, well, I'll just call Amazon or I'll call Google. And when you go online and use a search engine, you actually end up calling a scammer, and then they get a hold of your computer. They do something called remote access, where they get control of your computer, and when they have control of your computer, they can take everything you have.
Wow, and I guess you are seeing more of that because more folks are on the computer.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, romance scams, that's still a big deal. It's still a big deal for the elderly.
It is, and people fall for them because people want to be loved. They want attention, and now romance scams have morphed into something called pig butchering. And what pig butchering is basically a romance scam where the scammers convince their victims to invest in cryptocurrency.
Holy
I've
smokes.
met people that have lost, I've met a lady who lost $700,000 to a pig butchering scheme here in Arizona. She's a very smart lady. She was just going up against someone who is far more sophisticated than she is.
All right, so what do we do to help this woman and to help everyone, to, especially the elderly and seniors who are out there and just apparently waiting for these scammers to find them? What are some of the things to watch out for? What are you telling people?
So you need to be like a sloth. My friend Amy at AARP did a presentation with me and said, you need to be a sloth. Move slow. Don't click on anything. You want to get a second opinion. You want to have a phone a friend. So if you're not sure, sleep on it. Turn your computer off. Talk to a family member or friend so that you don't rush into anything. The scammers want you to make a bad decision.
Yeah, and I noticed as well the idea of watching your emotions. That's a big factor, isn't it?
Right, because the scammers will call you up one way or another, phone, email, text message, social media, and they'll give you a compelling reason to act. Your grandchild's in jail, your bank account's been frozen, or you won the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. They want you to make a bad decision. They want your emotions to be elevated, so you have to calm down, take a break, go for a walk, take a break so that you don't make a bad decision.
One of the suggestions I thought was very interesting, use a gel ink pen when writing checks.
Absolutely. So you would think not as many people are writing checks as they used to, but you can take a check and put it in nail polish remover, and the acetone will take the ink off, and it can be used. So if you get a gel ink pen and you use it to write a check, it's protected.
It's always there.
It's always there. And then if you do mail a check, take it to the post office and put it inside the post office.
Yeah.
So someone can't get into that blue mailbox.
I like that idea better because I don't even know where to get a gel ink pen.
You can get them at any store.
Okay, all right. And government offices, if a government office unexpectedly contacts you, antennas up, correct?
Right. Well, think about this, Ted. When is the last time you called Social Security or the IRS and they picked up on the first ring? It just never happens. They're not calling you. All those agencies are going to send you a letter in the mail.
Last question. Last time we talked was many years ago, and you were with the IRS. You were with the IRS for 28 years. How does that help you deal with all this?
Well, my favorite part of being an IRS special agent was being a PIO and warning people about scams. So it was an easy transition from going from government to the nonprofit world, because my passion is to prevent people from having their life savings taken from them.
Okay, where can people find out more?
roseadvocacy.org is our website. We have a lot of information on there, and we have an email that goes out once a month with all the latest scams, and you can share that with your family and your friends.
All right, Brian Watson, good information, good stuff. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Scott Wolfelin. I want to thank all of you who have participated in the Protect My Public Media campaign over the last 3 months. There's more work to be done, though, and urgently so. The threat to funding of PBS stations like Arizona PBS has just been ratcheted up. The White House has sent a formal request to Congress to kill our funding for the upcoming fiscal year, funding that was already enacted by Congress and signed into law. Visit azpbs.org/mypublicmedia to learn how you can contact your representatives and make your voice heard.
ASU researchers have created a dashboard to track food insecurity throughout the state, and they've teamed up with St. Mary's Food Bank to use the dashboard to focus on communities most in need. Marcos Gaucin is the Chief Programs Officer at St. Mary's Food Bank, and Aaron Flores is with ASU School of Geographical Sciences and Urban Planning. Gentlemen, good to have you both here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
The goal is to track food insecurity in Arizona. Marcos, we'll start with define food insecurity.
So really simply put, food insecurity is not knowing where your next meal is going to come from. In Arizona, since the pandemic, we've seen that on the rise, from about 11% up to 14% this year. 1 in 7 people are food insecure. Amongst children, that's 1 in 5. So if we picture a classroom, 6 of those kids don't know where their next meal is coming from.
So basically disparities in food areas.
Yes.
Yes. All right, Aaron, teaming up, as far as this database and this dashboard is concerned, how'd you get the information? How'd you compile all this stuff?
Great question. Well, we have an awesome team of graduate students who are really behind the scenes and doing all the nitty-gritty work with that. But we work with Marcos's team to get food insecurity data that they've been working with, and then we compile census data, overlay that on top. Anything that they really need, we're able to pull that from a database and put it into their dashboard.
So do you analyze patterns, demographics, these sorts of things? And if so, how does that work?
We do. So we collect census data, demographic data like age, race, ethnicity, income, if you're a renter, all sorts of information, if you're a female-headed household, for instance. And we can overlay that on the food insecurity data, look at it, we can analyze trends with statistical analysis, and that's what we do, yeah.
When you see this information, Marcos, what do you think?
It's pretty awesome. So we have information kind of at a surface level prior to this project, which told us where food insecurity was heaviest in Arizona. This helps us dig into layers, and kind of find intersections of how different barriers, we all know that food insecurity is a very complex issue. So where do different barriers kind of intersect, and where can we, as a food bank, mitigate some of those barriers?
And basically optimize resources and allocations.
Optimize resources, all of that, yes.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting, Aaron, there was an overlay of data on tribal lands with vehicle ownership, and that makes sense in terms of being able to get to food.
Absolutely. So if we think about food insecurity, the food bank, I don't think necessarily was thinking about vehicle ownership at the time, but with St. Mary's Food Bank, they have this on-the-ground experience that we don't have as well. And so we thought, okay, what about vehicle ownership in this very rural area where there's very few grocery stores? Perhaps we could look at that, and in fact, we do see a very clear pattern.
Yeah, were you surprised at any of the patterns you saw, Marcos, or did this all make sense to you?
It solidified what we kind of knew already. But what's helping us do, the next phase is helping us track, as you mentioned, trends.
Yes.
So are things getting better? Are they getting worse? That's an interesting, with the auto ownership is an interesting intersection. Like in tribal lands on the Navajo Nation, we have high food insecurity. As I mentioned, for the state, it's 14%. On tribal lands, it's 21%. Amongst children, it's over 30%, 1 in 3 children. So these intersections help us identify trends. They help us, how do we better model our distribution with home delivery, with mobile distributions, those type of services in those areas.
With that in mind, how frequently do you do the research? How frequently is data collected?
So the food insecurity data comes out yearly, and the food bank gets proprietary access to that. They work with us and give us that data. Census data, same thing, comes out yearly. So we are always about a year behind on the most recent trends.
And this is up and operational?
So this is internal to St. Mary's Food Bank, so because we use some of their internal food distribution as well. But we do have, screenshots and stuff available that the public could look at.
And now will St. Mary's eventually just take over the entire operation?
That's the goal.
Yes.
That's the goal. We don't have the in-house expertise at this point, but the goal is to work with Aaron and his team to transition those yearly updates to our team.
And I would imagine better info, I should say, would mean better messaging. I mean, I guess, Marcus, I should ask you about this. I mean, this really helps get the message across, does it not?
It does. You know, what people sometimes don't understand is that St. Mary's is a bridge. You know, we're the premier food insecurity food bank in Arizona. It's a bridge for some people. They either had, you know, unexpected bill, unexpected medical expense, something like that, and then you just need a little bit of help till next month or till their next paycheck.
And as far as this data collection is concerned, it sounds like it could be a best practice model for other areas?
I think so, definitely. And I think the partnership with the research and community organization is really important too for universities across the nation. We should be doing more of that. Are there ways, I should say, to ramp up what you've already done? Yeah, we explore other community organizations as well, not just St. Mary's Food Bank, but we're also exploring ways, how can we train the food bank employees at St. Mary's, but other food banks across the state to use this type of data to inform their decisions.
Very good. Aaron Flores, Marcos Gaucin, good to have you here. Good stuff, and congratulations on the success of this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And that is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.